You are listening to 100 Days of EPT, a podcast I developed for you to easily access targeted forgiveness and affirmation statements that will support you changing your life for good. I'm Sherry Hamilton. EPT is short for Emotional Polarity Technique, an innovative holistic emotional therapy. I've been practicing EPT for over 20 years, and I've helped hundreds of people get through some tough mental, emotional, physical challenges. You can contact me for private sessions or private retreats for your unique healing challenges at eptworkshuntsville.com. "100 Days of EPT, Day 37. I am a source for inclusion." Think and speak aloud, I am a source for inclusion. The idea of inclusion is important for people to connect in community and exchange ideas. Being included in a community should connect us with safety and prosperity. There is an invisible fence placed around a community system by the members in that system. This fence is a way to define the system, keep watch for maintaining the system, and give a sense of safety to the members in the system. In any system that you can be a part of, like your birth family or your church family, everything revolves around that system and the survival of that system. It can feel like you are doing something wrong when you make a life choice that your community system doesn't like. Your choice of believing something different from what the system approves of can be seen as a threat to the system. As a threat to the system, you could be excluded. For example, some communities look down on members who move far away. Another way is they look down on interracial marriage. It's a relationship that can be considered threatening to a community system, and you could be excluded from a system for making that choice. So the emotional process in this session is about being inclusive and being a source of inclusion. It is a way to expand and change your acceptance level for new friendships and a broader community. I want you to feel good and honor your original family and community systems you come from while you expand into becoming a viable influence for goodness and respect in greater systems. While thinking, I am a source for inclusion, place one hand over your heart and one hand over your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Repeat, taking 2 more deep breaths in and out. Remove your hand from your forehead. Hold one hand over your heart with your thumb under one collarbone and your 4 fingers under the other collarbone. Gently rub spots below collarbones while speaking the following statements. Take a deep breath in and out after you speak aloud each statement. I deeply and completely accept myself being a source for inclusion, even when I'm afraid it isn't possible for me. Even when I'm afraid it isn't safe for me or someone I love. Even when I'm afraid it is all my fault. Even when I'm afraid it won't matter. Even when I'm afraid it leaves me in a place where I don't know how to feel. Even when I'm afraid it leaves me feeling wrong. Even when I'm afraid it is a game changer for my life, both my past relationships and my future relationships. Even when I'm afraid others will judge me. Even when I'm afraid to be different from the crowd. Even when I'm afraid to love more. I forgive myself for believing it is wrong for me to be a source of inclusion. I forgive myself for using my pain, hurt, and loss as a reason to exclude others. I forgive myself for every time I've excluded someone. I forgive myself for treating others the same way they have treated me. I forgive myself for believing love can only exist for me when I exclude the offender. I forgive myself for what I can't control. I forgive myself for believing it is impossible for me to include the unloved. I forgive myself for being inclusive is not safe for me. I forgive myself for believing if I include the excluded, then justice will not happen. I forgive myself for believing it is important for me to decide who will be included and who will be excluded. I forgive myself for believing it is wrong for me to be a source for inclusion. I forgive myself for using exclusion as my way to protect myself. I forgive myself for defining what is included and what is excluded because it makes me feel powerful. I forgive myself for holding on to a vibration of exclusion towards myself. I forgive myself for believing I will always be a victim. I forgive others for hurting me and excluding me. I forgive others for believing they could damage me forever. I forgive others for making me a victim. I forgive others for what they are unwilling to include in me. I forgive others for using power to take away inclusion that is not theirs. I forgive others for disrupting peace by bringing in actions of chaos and exclusion. I forgive others for changing how I thought of them. I forgive others for including me in their misbehavior and hurt. I forgive others for expecting me to be like them and exclude someone like they excluded me. I forgive others for choosing to be a source of exclusion rather than a source of inclusion. I forgive others for throwing me out. I give others permission to forgive me for deciding they are disposable. I give others permission to forgive me for withholding inclusion because that was all I knew. I give others permission to forgive me for limiting inclusion in my life. I give others permission to forgive me for limiting inclusion in their life. Without the need to hold on to exclusion, I'm free to let it go for a new experience of being a source for inclusion. I'm free to show up and include others with respect and kindness, even when I disagree with them. I'm free to pay attention to my own defense patterns of hurt that have limited me until now. I'm free to tell the truth about my experience and my current needs. I'm free to disappoint others who expect me to exclude rather than to include. I'm free to let go of expectations about others' healing and how I think it should look or feel for them and for me. I'm free to forgive others for pressuring me or trying to control me into a behavior of exclusion that doesn't exist for me. I'm free to express my own needs with kindness and respect. I'm free to try my best even if I can't meet my own expectations for being a source for inclusion. I'm free to learn and practice being a source for inclusion. I'm free to have healthy boundaries. I'm free to remove toxicity from my life while including and honoring all parts of the whole system. I'm free to know I am worthy and I am a source for inclusion. I'm free to include and respect my connections in all aspects of my life. I'm free to expand the good and the enjoyable in my life with security, gratitude, and inclusion. I am a source for inclusion that becomes a reflection of goodness, honor, and respect. May you be blessed today with a thankful heart, healing of your pain, and comfort through your trials. May you experience your life and your connection to others with belonging and safety. May you know that you matter. May you show up in peace, trust, and friendships that last a lifetime. May you see, know, and act on good with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. Thanks for listening.